Hello everyone, the Instant Camera Guy here. Just a quick video today because I've been insanely busy, as you guys probably know. Not only am I in the middle of the Christmas rush, but I'm also catching up on the last month's worth of work because I, as you guys already know, ended up having to buy a house, renovate said house, build myself a brand new workshop from scratch, so I was sort of out of commission for a month, so I'm still catching up on some stuff. But the third reason, and maybe the most important reason, is I seem to be developing somewhat of a reputation as a miracle worker, and you guys just keep sending me junk. Like, including this stupid thing, which works now. This arrived to me, if anyone was following my Instagram stories, this thing arrived to me literally in pieces because its previous owner had decided to try and fix it themselves only to give up. This thing was a basket case. But it works now. It is 600 converted. It is PolarVolt converted. Wow, boy oh boy, was this thing a nightmare to fix. Basically, think of something that could have been broken on this thing, and yeah, it was broken. And if it wasn't for the fact that this happens to be someone's family heirloom, it belonged to like their father and it's important to them, I probably would have just said, forget it. This thing was horrendous to fix. And then this is also on the tail end of the last 2 days where I've had like 4 SX70 sonars to repair that were just like, for every one thing I fixed, I found 2 extra issues. Anyway, I digress. I've been super busy. I've got a whole bunch of videos in the works, but I wanted to give you guys an update to what I will now dub the PolarVolt Portable. Yes, this is the I-Type solution that Yongmin Liu from the SX70R project and I have been working on. This is basically designed to be a more sustainable version of his Evo battery pack, which has a built-in non-user replaceable lithium-ion battery. I did a video about this a few weeks ago. He sent me the first prototype. Basically, none of the bits and pieces fit properly. It didn't really fit on the camera, so I sent it back for him to do some revisions, change the switch design and a few other things. Those revisions have been made. I've made 3 variants of it right here, and I wanted to just walk through what exactly this is, if you guys wanted an update or if you missed the first video. This is basically a PolarVolt on a PCB. It is a pogo pin style battery adapter, so basically it uses 2 little test pins down the bottom that stick up through the base of the camera, where there are 2 holes from the factory already under the leather, and basically these 2 touch the original battery terminals inside the camera, supplying power inside. So I have my own SX70R camera, which uses the chassis from an SX70 sonar. I will just attach the little screw here because it has a tripod socket, and yeah, basically make sure it's powered on. And yeah, it's basically an externally mounted PolarVolt. Now, this product is basically designed to be sort of like the cheapest, most bare bones I-Type adapter possible. So far, Yongmin and I have designed it to use one of 2 battery options. The first, which is my recommended option, is to use 2 10440 lithium-ion cells, just like the original PolarVolt. These have a really good current output and work really, really well, even up with sonar cameras and even up into the SLR680. It is possible to run the camera off of 9-volt batteries as well, and here I'm using a 9-volt rechargeable lithium-ion battery. Which basically gets converted into 6 volts using the same buck converter and powers the camera off of 6 volts. This is a good solution because, I mean, if you get the 9-volt rechargeable battery, it has its own built-in USB-C charging in the battery itself. But it is a little bulkier. Also, because these 9-volt lithium batteries basically already contain voltage conversion circuitry, it's basically lithium-ion converted to 9 volts, which is then converted again to 6 volts. That means the current output isn't quite as high as on the 10440 cells. It works fine for a Model 1 or a Model 2 or an Alpha. Certainly on an SLR 680, it's probably going to struggle a little bit. But again, it's an option. You don't have to do the 9-volt version. You can use this one. It's just there as an alternative solution because it fits pretty much the same way. But yeah, basically we've made the boards with sort of two ways to wire them up at the moment. On this board, you can see it's designed to be wired in such a way that basically the leads just come straight out of the battery holder and onto the top of the PCB. It is also possible to do like a through-hole version. Youngmin and I will probably just delete this version though, because it produces like voltage that could be accessed underneath the battery adapter, and we want to try and eliminate as many possible chances that it has to short circuit. So I'm going to get Youngmin to make these holes a little bit bigger so that we can make these points flatter. These aren't so bad, and basically we'll put some kind of maybe a little rubber foot or something like that on the two bottom panels so that nothing can short circuit. But yeah, this is basically what they're going to look like. The finished result will probably be black. These green ones, as I said, are prototype versions. I mean, really, we could make these in just about any color you could think of. We'll probably just stick with black, though, because I think that's going to be the most popular. And yeah, I just wanted to basically just show you that. Like, just give you guys a bit of an update. I teased this on my Instagram a little while back. And yeah, I think what I wanted is just some advice in terms of how exactly I should implement this. Being a one-man operation, and being someone that really wants to emphasize just how important it is to service these SX70 cameras, rather than, you know, just slap an I-type adapter on it, do the bare minimum and call it a day. I don't necessarily want to be selling these to clients' cameras that I haven't personally refurbished. Simply because I can't vouch, and I've done an entire 40-minute video on this very subject, I simply cannot vouch for the work of other repair technicians. I do want to introduce this as an alternative, but I'm a little hesitant to just sell it willy-nilly because I feel like what this encourages people to do is use SX70s that are not refurbished, and that's just not a great message. So many times people recommend online, oh, you know, just chuck some film in an SX70 and see if it works. That's a great recipe for wasting film. And all you have to do is go on Reddit r/Polaroid and see just how many posts exist every single week of someone asking why their camera isn't working because they've picked it up at a flea market. It's completely unrefurbished. It hasn't had a pack of film in it since 1974. And they wonder why it doesn't give the best results. So I'm sort of in two minds as to whether or not to just offer this as something that people can buy alongside getting their camera serviced by me, or maybe just selling it to people that I know have had their camera refurbished. Maybe I will just sell it to anyone that wants one. I'm not really sure what to do. We're still figuring that out. I'm also still figuring out price. At this stage, I have nothing planned, only that it will probably be comparable to my current PolarVolt mod. It requires about the same skill to solder up, etc. It will be cheap, is what I'm trying to say. It's certainly going to be a lot cheaper than pretty much every other battery solution on the market. Anyway, I'm very tired. This month has been a killer. My goodness. I'm just so busy. Anyway, what do you think? Do you guys like it so far? One of the other things that I will probably get Youngmin to do is put the instruction manual on how to use it on the silk screen on the rear of the PCB. I'm going to ask him if that's an option, because I think that will just be a hell of a lot of an easier way to do things rather than having to like print out a manual or host on a website a manual for you to reference. Yeah, I think putting stuff on the silk screen is going to be a really good idea in terms of just providing some extra information. We can provide some warnings, you know, do not short circuit, all that kind of stuff. Oh, and the other thing I thought about doing is just selling them as like a kit. You know, maybe the parts that you need, and maybe people can solder it up themselves. I don't know. I don't know. Let me know. Just write all your stuff in the comments below. My brain is completely fried. I didn't plan on making this video. This is just my tired ass brain trying to show you guys something that I think is pretty cool. I think I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm going to take the rest of the day off. I am completely fried, guys. Working 7 days a week on your cameras is slowly killing me. But everyone's camera I've been able to successfully fix. No one's stuff is getting forgotten. I'm thoroughly checking things a plethora of times. I'm taking test photos. I'm making sure everything is operational. And I'm trying to get as many people cameras back before Christmas as I possibly can. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you next time.